Good morning, Galactic Blue Hand Marvels. Here we are. Kin, is it 48? 47? 47? Which means I've come in here 47 days. That is no small feat for me. Accomplishment. I can celebrate my accomplishment on the galactic tone of accomplish, no, healing, wholeness, blue hand. No, that's the blue hand, healing, wholeness, knowing, and the galactic tone is harmonized model integrity. Wholeness, wholeness everywhere, wholeness. I'm stuck on that today. Okay. We've just been through the blue hand wave spell. If you came along, if you've been there, we're in the first castle, initiating what we're going to manifest in this wave spell, in this talking spin, 260 days. Which part of ourselves are we giving birth to? Maybe we're making space within ourselves to incarnate a little more of ourselves, to bring in more of ourselves. Maybe it's healing, soul retrieval. Maybe it's letting go of things we no longer need. In small measure, we did it yesterday, World Bridger. And now we are moving, we're in the yellow sun wave spell. The last of 4 wave spells, the fourth wave spell, the last in the first castle. So we're really completing the first castle of initiation. I am myself very curious where it goes from there. It's funny, it feels as if every morning before sunrise, I can ask myself, I wonder what the sunrise is going to look like today. Because even though I've spent almost every day looking at the sunrise, every day is different. Every day is unique. Every day is new. So it is with the Tolkien. I've been around this bend so many times, but I can't sit here and say, I know what's coming. I can't. I love that. It's predictable and unpredictable. All right. We're evolving. The antipode position today is the red earth. Blue hand is a very active doing, possibly doing sign, and its opposite, the earth, is, how can I say, there's nothing we can really much do for her cycles. That's a navigation, that's a synchronization, that's where we fall in line with the forces around us. If I got, like, that's not all they stand for, obviously, but if there are 2 opposite forces that complement each other, forming a complementary relationship, then this could be one way of looking at it. And I often ask myself, how do I know when to act, when to do, what to do, where and when to assert my own free will And how do I know when to flow, to float, to allow myself just to be synchronized and to be done by the forces that exist? And it leads me personally to a kind of realization of the challenge of these times where we have so many options and we are fairly self-empowered. We're very, individuation processes are really in full swing on the planet. So if I have to learn to exercise my free will, I also need to take into account there are other beings here exercising their free will. And then I need to take into account if I don't get my will, I may have to compromise, which may cause me to put up resistance, which in turn may cause me not to function in harmony. And there are so many of this little cycle. How do I live in harmony, in integrity, in synchronicity with my environment, with my life, with the divine? How do I sit at the driver's seat, in the driver's seat? And how do I know when I can take the hands off the wheel and when I should absolutely not? Yeah, that to me is like a lot of flow. How do I flow through my life? And what are my signal indicators that I am in alignment or that I'm not? When yellow human, our analog kin today, is when it's so easy to think that I know what's best for me or what I want. And it's so easy, shall I say, to be wrong. I wonder now if it cannot be done, if it really, to really get there, needs a lot of life experience. And I'm really talking many lives. I personally don't know how to look at life through the lens of only one life. I haven't necessarily myself the proof of the paradigm of many lives, just that everywhere I look, that's how life was talked about, etc. It's still a choice I make to believe that, because it makes more sense to me. It makes it easier for me. It makes it, certain things just don't make sense without that view. But that's just for me. If I didn't have that view, if I didn't choose that view, I would find another view that would make sense to me. So how do we accept, or how do we learn, or how do we, within ourselves, understand, for most of the people that I know, we all hold this view. Everyone gets to have their own paradigm. We don't fight with other people's paradigms. At least I think it's like, at least not when I speak to them. I don't see that fight. I'm less and less myself engaging within myself this energy of, I don't get it. How can people be like that? How can they? every time I do that, I have to remind myself, like, hey, we may be each one of us living in our own universe, and I have the privilege to behold, to a degree, the universes others are living in and the consequences they are manifesting. That is not, they are, I can really see how that's not my universe, but I am looking at it. And the going paradigm is that everything I'm looking at, whether I'm looking at the media, whether I'm looking at politics, the going paradigm is that is still part of the universe I'm living in. And yeah, fair enough, I can live with that also. I don't mind. It's a paradigm that works also. But, and that's of course also the dominant paradigm I still live in. I'm not at odds with that. But it's a little easier in a way for me to assume, as we're being taught in the talking, if I am the center of my universe and you are the center of your universe, how does that work? But then I go into quantum physics and then it's again easy. Everything is the center of everything. I mean, like, duh. Does it matter? Is it relevant? Yes, to me it is, because how do I find my peace with the goings on the planet, with the goings on with the neighbors, with the goings on at work, anywhere we are haggling is the wrong word, struggling with the what isness of things. And in that struggle against what is, which is not, it's the absence of acceptance, and that so often brings in disharmony. If we look at the masters on the planet, were they in disharmony with their environment? Were they picketing? Usually not. I have to take a mini break just to see something. I'm going to come back, so it's going to be a little bit of a disrupted broadcast. Do I want that? I have to do that. Hold on. All right. Well, back to integrity, healing, wholeness, accomplishment, knowing, and the next level of ascension, whatever that means. How about descension? Can we talk about descension? The descension process. Practically speaking, we've already descended as low as we can. I just like to think that we are descending into the body. I've come to realize, for me, my healing is not to become more detached from the body and more go up into spiritual stratospheres, whatever they may be, but to really come into the body, become like, to live in my body, to feel it, to heal it, to love it, to nurture it, to know it. I don't need to be a body mechanic to know all the ins and outs, but to the degree that I learn about the body, I am fascinated by it. And with the modern technology of AI and all, we have such wonderful ways of visually displaying the inner workings of the body. I love, there's such beautiful videos that show how, at least our current understanding of how the body works, and it's very, very beautiful. We're going into the star tomorrow, and then the red moon, and so I think I spoke about fascia already. Fascia, everywhere fascia. And I saw this interesting interview where it turns out we're discovering, first of all, the significance of fascia, but also that it's a liquid system, and the moon stands for universal water. So much is liquid and flow, and the blue hand healing. We need to flow, not be blocked. And very often, when we are very much upset, usually, say about politics, current politics, I mention no names, are like so extreme in terms of theatrical, and I want to use the word ridiculous, but it's as if it's fighting so hard for our engagement. What can we do to keep people interested, to keep ourselves relevant? I personally think most politicians are unfortunately, completely irrelevant. It's like, what are you doing? What? We don't need that system anymore. We need administration so that collective living in societies run smoothly. But politics, like, yeah, eventually we need coherence, and coherence is a very simple flowing way where, I mean, most of us can't imagine it because we ourselves have not evolved to that degree where we are coherent within ourselves. As we become coherent within ourselves, we start to understand, like, oh my goodness, yes, I become coherent with my environment. Life takes on a whole different flow, a whole different meaning, actually, as far as I'm concerned. And working things out together collectively to the benefit of all is, that's the goal. Oh, it's snowing again. How beautiful. Oh, how beautiful. I should take a walk out there. Fresh air is healing. Nature is at all times healing. The earth, grounding, barefoot walking, all of that. Very simple things for healing. Breathing. The medicine today, White Wizard, the occult kin. To help balance our free will, human, what can we influence? How do we be wise in our choices? Wise wisdom in our choices to be healthy, to be content, to be peaceful, to be excited when we want to be, to have goals, to know, to be wise in which goals are wise to have, and to know how do we achieve them, which part of their achievement is ours and which part is just choose it and let the universe bring it. I know someone, a very special person, who always says to me, it's not the law of doing. Well, I'm like, oh yeah, just let it come. It's not the law of doing. Like, yeah, do we just get to sit back and do nothing? No, that's wisdom, that's knowing. And when you're in your own integrity, your actions are in alignment with, you're going to want to do them. You're going to want to be active. And it's going to be, in my eyes, there is a natural harmony if we're also not forgetting about the red earth, the antipode to the blue hand. Synchronize yourself with yourself. The earth again has her best friend, wind, breath, evolution. Where are we going? What's our goal? Is my goal to make 1 million? Is my goal to have 1 million followers? Is that in alignment with me? Am I having fun doing that? Am I allowed to change my goals along the way? And while I'm in it, I often can't see it. So when someone else is in it, they often can't see it, even if we can already see it, like you're so on the not right path, or you're so heading full speed for a wall, to have the grace to stand by them when they get there, because often we can't stop them. We shouldn't. It's their life experience. It's their path of learning. We can't deny them wisdom, grace. We can't deny it for ourselves. We can send them light. We can pray. We can whatever we can do. But at the end of the day, when we, oh yeah, this is what I wanted to say, when we go so actively rallying within ourselves, or we can spend hours talking about the crazy politics, the crazy whoever is out there doing crazy stuff, it is a distraction from, it is a vent, often it is a substitute for an inner pain, an inner dissatisfaction that's much harder to feel. The mirror. Yesterday we were guided by a mirror. Are we having a mirror in this wave spell? Incidentally not. Interesting. We're guided today by the blue monkey. Now the blue monkey is also not linked to the mirror. I'm really wanting to get to this point of truth, the importance of truth. So I'm looking for the link. The mirror is one seal further from the red earth. Talk about evolution, the red earth evolution, today antipodal kin. Really, anyone who wants to make the world a better place has got to make themselves whole. Be the change you want to see in the world. Be the peaceful one. Be the one who is in coherence. What else can I say? I'm repeating myself. Live your truth. Be in your own integrity. And then anything that comes forth from you, from me, will be in integrity too. And it gives permission to our environment for everyone else to be in integrity. Can we start a domino effect of integrity? It's very often not easy. It's very often not taught to feel what does it mean to be in integrity. You have to know yourself. Do you? Okay, I'm drawing a bit of a blank here right now. Maybe it's because the snow is calling me and saying, what are you doing sitting in the, come play, come play. Yeah. Blue hand, I have not really tied it. What are the monkey and the yellow sun wave spell? Our accomplishment knowing, our healing, our integrity. Blue hand, galactic blue hand. In our life, our own, excuse my stomach if you're hearing that, in our own lives. It's the only life we have right now. I'm not saying that we don't have many lives. That's many lives. And earlier on I stood by the window, I looked out and I thought, with a cup of coffee, and I thought, Tatiana 50,000 years ago, who is she? Who is she standing here? Is this a society that we don't even know anything about? Does she live in a society we don't even have any recollection of? But no matter where is this, in our modern paradigm, we think of time as linear. That wasn't always the case. That isn't the way to think of it in every paradigm. It's just for us very difficult to understand. 50,000 years ago is a place and time that exists now. Parallel, I can have access to it if I know how. I couldn't this morning. It's like, oh, I wish I could. I wonder what that would do. And maybe I do and I'm not even aware of it. Whatever, is it relevant or not? life, this moment is all there is. This life, this abundance of life in this moment, the abundance of choices I can make. And how difficult can it be to choose integrity? And you shouldn't have to choose integrity, I think. It should just be what is. It should just be. Blue monkey, our guide, antipod is the yellow dragon, red dragon. Being nurse, being birth, nurturing, primal trust. The child can play freely because it is in that state of primal trust. The mother is there, life protects it. It doesn't need to worry about anything, it just gets to play. And we come into the kingdom of heaven only as little children, right? We have to be in that state of trusting the divine. And our modern way of life has very much taught us something else. And therein lies, to me, a root of a lot of, it doesn't matter, we have to find our own way into ourselves, into our healing, into our sun, into our being, into our trust in life. And when we look out at politics, or we look out at what's going on in the world, or whether it's social media, or whatever the trajectories are, we believe we can predict the future based on the past, and we can't. Sometimes it can be done, but often it can't. Very often, even whatever smart, intelligent, artificial or natural means of modeling we use, programming to model what's coming, how often is it wrong? The weather reports, for example, always using some other, it's the most likely outcome that the weather will be like this tomorrow. Based on everything we know, it's going to be like this tomorrow, day after. How often is there a sudden complete change? We can't know it all, and we have to allow for the unknown. But if that is scary, because the unknown could be, some horrible thing could happen, and then you just want to be afraid of the future, or it looks like this is just going to turn out bad, how does that make you feel? How is that for our health, our balance, our integrity, our trust, our ability to play with the gifts we are given? Social media is, everything is like toys. It's like something to play with. And I don't mean to belittle it in terms of making it meaningless, but life is for playing. Even as adults, we should play life. I say should, but it's like, can we play this game on earth? How can we play it so that it's fun, that we feel empowered, but also trusting, that we're in flow and synchronized? Do we need to envision? Yesterday we had the eagle as the occult. I didn't really go much into that, but the eagle as the occult to the world bridger. To be in the moment and let go, but also have a vision of where to go. And the eagle and the serpent are so linked. Antipode 2 days ago. As a serpent, we can relax into this moment because we know the eagle is keeping the vision within us. We are that too, of where we're going. We don't need to work it all out. We don't need to know it all. We just need to know, hey, wherever we're going, it's going to be good. It's going to be fun. There's going to be a lot of opportunities. There's going to be new things, old things, good things, not so good things. And we get to choose and choose and choose and choose and choose. That's it. We get to just enjoy and experience life. And you can live that moment by moment by moment. Or take yourself away from the magnificence and magnitude and abundance of the moment. Worry about the future. Craft it. And you may have fun doing that. And then do it. If it's worry and you don't have fun doing it, don't do it, because it's going to start disturbing the presence. Now this all seems this is the last thing I want to say about healing. Sometimes really, not sometimes, the way to heal is, there's something Abraham Hicks always say, how do we not worry? How to stop worrying? And they always say, you stop worrying before you start worrying. Something like that. And it never seems to really make sense. Or it's like, eh? But they say it so many times. It's like, yeah, you gotta pre-plan it. Like, that's the red dragon. Trust in life. Trust in life and play. Trust and play. So that when the time comes to worry, it may touch you for a minute and then you remember, I'm having to learn that too. We got our tax returns, and with quite a hefty sum of money that we should theoretically pay to our taxes for the last year, for 23. Funnily enough, 23 had already been closed. So we need to find out what's going on. But for a moment, for me, it always happens. I get a thing like that, hefty bill, and for a moment, it's like my stomach drops out. In the past, that used to be much stronger. Today, it's like I can just see it happening. I'm like, look, here's that again. You keep doing that. When you do that for, even if it's a split second, you completely drop out of trust and you go into a second of near panic. You catch it and then it's okay, but it used to be so that for days I could walk around with this knot in my stomach, like, there's a huge big bill and no. A sign where my trust is not really working. And I need to prepave that for the future, that anytime such a thing comes, the first thing I do is like, let's see, let's play. Blue monkey, trust. Let's see how we work this out. Let's see what this is about. Is it really going to be this or whatever? We work it out. Maybe, and it's happened for me many times, I got a very big bill at the same time as I somehow got a big lump sum of money for some reason coming from nowhere, and it just matched. Many times. Do I remember that? Well, now I do. Many times then I don't. I forget and I fall into distrust. And that's just like crap, because it takes me out of alignment, takes me out of peace, gets my body out of sync, out of red earth, out of trust, out of sync. I could go on about that, but I hope I'm making my point. So it's a good idea to, no matter where we are at health-wise now, to think in a year or wherever in the future, Blue Eagle for the serpent, have a vision of health, have a vision of well-being. Today's blue hand, we can already place our vision into the red earth, which we have in 10 days, that our actions then, when the hand is antipodal to the earth, are in alignment, synchronized with our own highest good and with the earth's highest good at all times. Just flow. And to be okay when it doesn't work, but it's okay, to have a vision. That's okay. It's really a great tool. Have I sold it to you already? If you haven't bought it already, it's a great, great, great tool. Great thing to play with. Okay, I'm going to leave this now. I think I've said enough. Part of me is like, keep talking. And then I'm thinking, what am I avoiding? Life. I'm avoiding the decision. Am I going to put on my pants and shoes and go out there and play in the snow? There's something else I had in mind to do this morning, Sunday morning. And I'm like, I want to avoid that decision to make that. And why do I want to avoid the decision? Is it because the decision I made yesterday, I thought maybe I should do that tomorrow? It comes from my head. It doesn't come from my heart. So if I want to avoid the decision, I'm just working this out for myself. I'm thinking out loud. That means I'm trying to motivate myself for a decision that isn't in alignment with me. And how do I know now? It's like motivating yourself to do some exercises. Sometimes you must push over your own resistance, and sometimes you should not. How to know when is what? So I'm going to ask who am I going to ask? The yellow human? How are you wise enough to answer this? I'm going to ask the yellow sun. We're in the yellow sun wave spell, blue hand. I'm going to ask the earth to synchronize me with my joy and my flow and my well-being. I'm going to synchronize myself right now with my highest state of well-being and happiness and health and joy. Happiness sometimes seems like a frivolous concept, but you know what I mean? My highest state. And then I'm going to take my next breath from my highest state. And all I need to know right now is that when I'm done, I can prepare to send this off, which takes some time. Then I can get myself dressed and just put my nose out into the snow for a bit. And then I'm going to stick with my highest frequency, and that's going to tell me what the next step is. I don't need to know 3 steps in advance. I don't. And then I'm going to know whether I'm going to go there or do what I'm meant to do or not. And probably something tells me I won't, but it's fine. Okay. I wish us a beautifully guided, blue hand, evolving day, evolve into the now, evolve into the understanding we are complete, and we are completing all the time. We are, and we are becoming at the same time. We are the becoming. The body is transitioning all the time, changing all the time, changing to maintain, changing to stay as it is, and changing to change. Both. It's not either or, it's both and more. And may we have the vision to always be, it's getting a bit of a bad rap to say it, but to be our best selves, to be our most content, aligned, harmonious self, and to be in alignment with galactic forces, galactic blue hand, to be in alignment with the past, to be okay with the past. We've had the blue hand wave spell in the past. If we're not, the blue hand wave spell is coming around again in 245 or so days. We get another chance. And if that's too long, blue hand is here today. Blue hand comes around every 20 days. And all time is now, so you can just hang out in the blue hand wave spell and go nowhere from there if that's what you want. Yellow human, we can choose. Play on the earth, synchronize ourselves. So what have I said? What can I say? Have I inspired you yet? Dance, sing, sleep, rest. It's Sunday today. Chill. Go to church if that inspires you. Go into the forest if that inspires you. Call your best friend if that inspires you. Cuddle with your cat if that inspires you. Hug yourself. Close your eyes. Smile at yourself in the mirror. And just make your own day better. When you make your cup of coffee this morning or your cup of tea, fill it with love. When the water pours into the cup, it's pure love. That water is the earth's love for you. It's pure love. It's all here to support us, and we can be so thankful. We can be so grateful. And from that gratitude for that water and that beverage and the time we have to drink it, from there we take the next breath, and then we extend and radiate our own sun, our own potentials outward, harmoniously, acknowledging the divine spark in everyone we meet. They are their own yellow human. They have their own wisdom. We don't need to tell them what to do. We don't need to interfere with their processes. We can heal and take an interest in our own, and be interested in how are we loving ourselves? Are we loving life? Are we accepting? Are we in a state of love? Self-love is sometimes also one of those concepts that can be a bit like, I mean, does a tree need to love itself? Like, it's like so natural. You are love. So what do you mean love yourself? But we've come into a time where we can really not love ourselves. We can really hurt ourselves with our attitude towards ourselves. So what's our attitude towards ourselves? Today we can really look at the attitude we have towards ourselves. Be honest about it. Don't force it into something that it isn't. It's also part of integrity to say, yeah, I really don't like myself today. Or I generally don't like myself. I don't like being who I am. And then if that's the truth, that needs healing. Really, it does. We are all such wonderful beings. We're really sparks of the divine. Who are we? I mean, you want to talk insulting the divine? Self-hatred would be it. That would be blasphemy in action. Like, how can we not love ourselves? We are loved by the divine. We are the divine. And how do we then not love every divine being? Homework. Okay. Ow.